Hello there! I'm Chesterfield McMazelton from Pair of Dice Paradise, and this video is such a special, momentous occasion that I even went out and rented this accent specifically to talk about one of the games featured in it. But this accent is paid for by the minute, so I will put it on pause until I get to the game. About a year ago, I published a video series listing my top 100 board games of all time. And in the 12 months since that series aired, of course, new games have come along. And some of those games have made such an impression on me that they have earned their way onto my top 100 list. And other games that I've played haven't. So, in this episode, we'll be taking a look at a game that made it onto my top 100 list, and we'll also be taking a look at the game of sophisticated social talk, rapport. Oh, so fancy. Look at the sophisticated color palette they use, the minimal design, what could possibly be contained within this box of gaming indulgence? Well, let me tell you all about rapport. Rapport is the game that was created for all of us. We who could care less about knowing the smallest river in Liechtenstein and other trivial facts. Siri, what's the smallest river in Liechtenstein?
Let me check that. Okay, I found this on the web for what's the smallest river in Liechtenstein.
Huh. Oh, it's that one. Well, I'm really glad I have that knowledge now. That will come in really handy in my day-to-day life. Thank you, Everything But Rapport. Rapport is about people. You know, what all of us feel about the biggies in life. Success, romance, realty, fantasy, and anxiety. And how well we think we know what other people feel about them too. For instance, how would your partner answer the following question? The Duchess of Windsor once said, "You can never be too rich or too thin. What can you never be too much of? Too smart? Too good-looking? Or I really don't care." No, if I'm going to play a game that tries to tackle the big issues in life of fantasy and realty and anxiety while trying to tell a story around it with your fellow gamers, I'm going to reach instead for something like The Legends of Endor. Legends of Endor is a really great family-weight adventure game. I don't think it quite qualifies as a role-playing game, but it does have different quests that you go through, and the game actually has a deck of cards that leads you through the quests, and as you do things, new cards are revealed that add twists to the story that's going on, or it adds new wrinkles or new sub-objectives or side quests to accomplish. It's a game that when I got it, I put it on my shelf and then immediately let it sit there, unfortunately, for like at least 6 months before we got it to the table. But once we did, I realized how unfortunate it was that it took me that long to get this game played, because this is a fantastic family adventure experience. And if you've been thinking about playing Legends of Endor, here's a pro tip: invest in falcons. I don't know if I would break out Legends of Endor at like a convention, but definitely with my wife and my daughter, the three of us have been playing this and really enjoying it. It's got some really good light storytelling. It's got some really good tension. We have had to redo most of the scenarios that we've played multiple times because we fail it the first time, and then we got to revamp our strategy and come at it again. So we all kind of work together to come up with new ideas, and we all contribute. So all of those things together, it's accessible, it's fun, it's got different stories. It even has a two-sided map to help mix things up from game to game. So when you're in the mood to kind of get the family together for a couple of hours for a story-driven experience together, I cannot recommend Legends of Endor highly enough. It's a fantastic game. This works its way onto my top 100, probably right now in the 40s or 50s. As we get closer to completing all of the adventures that are in this box, it'll probably fizzle out and fade off my top 100 over time. But Cosmos has already got you covered with additional expansions that are available, including small little extra adventures and this whole big box extra adventure that adds a whole seafaring island landscape to explore and a whole bunch of stuff. So even when you start to get through this box, rest assured there's lots more Legends of Endor down the pike, which will probably help keep this on my top 100s list even longer than that. So when you find yourself in the mood to do more than just play a game, and you want an engaging social experience to tell a story together, figure out problems together, and work together and still have some good rip-roaring, intriguing, swashbuckling adventures, I highly recommend checking out Legends of Endor. So that's it for this time, a game that made it onto my top 100 list and one that did not. Join me again soon for another set of games that I've played since I made my top 100 series, and we'll take a look at which ones made it onto the list and which ones didn't, and why. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and take care.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
But this accent is paid for by the minute, so I will put it on pause until I get to the game. Because, as everyone knows, British things are not tax deductible.